If your team is in the lottery, you have a little bit of hope of getting a high pick. Now, what if your team falls just outside of the lottery? Today, in the spirit of the upcoming 2016 draft, we will be looking at the number 16 pick in history, the top 10 players that was in this pick. And yes, this will be the full list today, so you will get all 10 players, unlike last time, which was my fault. So yes, without further delay, let's take a look at the top 10 draft picks that were selected at number 16 over the last 30 years. And at number 10, we got Tony Delk. For those of you who remember, Tony Delk made his name in the NBA as a backup combo guard coming out of the Kings bench. He was also very good during his time in the Phoenix Suns. Although he didn't win a lot of games, he didn't have a lot of playoff moments, Tony Delk was always known as a guy that you can bring off the bench and score. The gameplay you see today, that was the time where Tony Delk randomly dropped 50 in an NBA game. He actually started this game, but yeah, he dropped 50. So Tony Delk wasn't all that great, but the contribution that he did make to the NBA was that he showed coaches that, hey, if you got a guy that can come off the bench, give him the ball and your entire bench offense can run off of one guy. And at number 9, we got Swaggy P, Nick Young. Yes, he was selected with the 16th pick originally by the Washington Wizards. Yes, Mr. Young is an NBA journeyman. He is kind of made out of that Tony Delk mode where he's a score-first kind of wing player, but Nick Young, unlike a lot of the score-first combo guards in the NBA, Nick Young's actually got pretty good size and he has decent range. In this game, for those of you who remember, he went nuts in the playoffs for the Clippers against the Grizzlies, where the Clippers had an insane fourth quarter comeback based off of nothing but Nick Young free balls. Look at this, he hit 3 in a row in the span, alright? This is pretty much the epiphany of who Nick Young is. Score, gunner, if he gets hot, watch out. But unfortunately, that's pretty much all Nick could do. He could never have really defended, he doesn't create well for his teammates, but hey, when the free ball goes down, it feels great. He can't get any higher than number 9, but he is on the list. Nick Young is a top 10 16 pick. Bam! Free balls. God, this game was nuts back in the day. Alright, at number 8, we got Mo Buckets, Maurice Speights. He was originally selected as the 16th pick by the Philadelphia 76ers. For those of you who remember, here you see is young Mo Speights. He originally came out of Florida. He was not a very good player during the first 4 years of his career, but over the last 2 years, yeah, you guys know. Coming off the bench for the Warriors, Mo Buckets can hit mid-range all day long. Out of the fade, out of the catch, out of the post fadeaway, Mo Buckets can score at an extremely high rate. Just a year before the current season, he was actually averaging over 10 points a game while playing only like 16 minutes per. That's some insane stats, but yep, just like the other players that have been shown on this list, Mo cannot defend at all. He is pretty much a scorer. He's really good at that. He's even developed a 3-point range shot now, but nah, he can't D. And he can only come off the bench. And at number 7, we got another Golden State Warrior, Chris Gatling, a power forward straight out of the mid to early 90s. He was actually an all-star, so this makes him the first all-star player on this list today, selected at number 16. He was a decent two-way power forward. He averaged a double-double for a couple of seasons, but he was always physical, he was always getting into it, and he finished quite well for a man his size on the catch. Now, he had absolutely no range, but his defense and his finishing ability were above average, so this made him a pretty solid two-way power forward during the Run DMC days when he was with the Warriors, and also later in his career. But he was able to get an all-star berth in the 1997 season. So yeah, the number 7 spot is well deserved, and for a 16th pick, if you can get a two-way power forward like this, then that's a pretty good deal outside of the lottery. So Chris Gatling at number 7. Oh, look at that pass by Mullen. Damn. And at number 6, we got Dana Barros. For those of you who remember, he was the original 3-point streak holder before Kyle Korver got to the record, and also after Steph broke it again recently. Now Barros was a point guard not because he was good at creating, he was score first combo guard all the way. Since he was so short, they started him at point, but he had always had the range. His 3-point ability was insane. This was during the mid-90s era, so he wasn't really utilized the way that 3-point shooters are used today. He's mostly space out, catch and shoot, but when he gets the opportunity, he most of the time sticks it, just like you see there. His defense and his regular point guard abilities left a lot to be desired, so he couldn't really go any higher on the list. But he was an all-star one time in his career, so Dana Barros can play, but just not amazingly. So, number 6, best 16 pick, not too bad. And at number 5, we got Nikola Vujevic, the center for the Orlando Magic. Originally drafted by the 76ers, he was traded to the Magic in that famous Bynum pick where the Sixers got killed. Now over the years, Vujevic had developed to be a very nice offensive big man. He finishes well on the roll, and his face-up post game at the high post and his bullying low post game are also very refined. He is a score-first center with very limited defensive abilities, but the last couple of years, this man has shown that he can score at will. Alright, averaging close to 20 points a game. In this day and age, he's a traditional big man that scores from the post and scores on the roll. Vujevic is a very nice player, and if your team gets a 16 pick and you pick up someone like this, you probably should feel great. He's a great player, top 5 16 pick of all time, well, last 30 years, definitely. And at number 4, we have Brevin Knight, an extremely skilled point guard who averaged double-doubles in assists and points over many years. Unfortunately for Mr. Knight, he was stuck on some of the worst teams in his era. He played for the Cavaliers, he played for the Bobcats, even though he was a very solid point guard on both ends of the court, and he always made his teammates better. Brevin Knight just got stuck on so many bad teams, I couldn't even find that many highlights for him. But he was a very solid player. Poor Mr. Knight, I feel bad for him. And at number 3, Hedo Turkoglu, a player that bounced around earlier in his career, but when he got to the Magic, for those of you who remember, my goodness. Hedo, when he was with the Magic, was clutch. He is essentially a point forward made in that Lamar Odom, Scottie Pippen, Andre Iguodala role, but he is completely all offense, all day. Not much defense coming from Turkoglu, but boy, for a couple of years, he was probably one of the clutchest players in the NBA. This was a game-winning alley-oop pass. How many players does this? And he did this twice in this year. Alright, twice. Turkoglu became so good in the clutch, it actually got pretty ridiculous. For those of you who remembered, some of the shots he made, he has done clutch shots against the Cavaliers on LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's another cut shot, 1 second left on the clock. And it's not just the scoring, alright? He has also pulled off these clutch moments also during the NBA Finals where he blocked Kobe. Kobe could have had a game winner. Turkoglu blocked him at the end of the game. At the end of the game, Turkoglu's abilities cannot be denied. He always rose up to the challenge during those couple of years, and here he is again hitting a game winner over Paul Pierce. Alright, so that's Paul Pierce, LeBron, and Kobe Bryant in the clutch that Turkoglu did damage to. Number 3, 16 pick, well deserved. And at number 2, the second best 16th pick of all time, Ron Artest. Yes, in the early stages of his career, Ron Artest was a problem child. He struggled a lot with behavioral issues. I'm not going to mention all of that, some of you guys know it, Malice and the Palace and all that. But he was a great defender. He was able to win a Defensive Player of the Year award when he was younger. But the beauty of Ron Artest's game really showed as he aged into his career. During his Rockets days, as you can see here, his offensive game was gorgeous. The defense was always there, and when he joined the Lakers, my oh my. he was able to complete the championship team to be alongside with Powell, Bynum, Fisher, Lamar. He was a small forward, the other wing that played next to Kobe. His defense really unleashed the ability at the Lakers. And man, for those of you who remember, Ron Artest, or as you know now, Meta World Peace, he has some crazy clutch moments during that second championship run that Kobe had with the Lakers in the late 2000s. In the Western Conference Finals against the Suns, Kobe misses his game winner, airball, Ron puts it back and won the game. The series was tied 2-2 at that point. This gave them a 3-2 lead, alright? This was huge shot by Ron, and it's not just the Western Conference Finals. He also did it in the Game 7 of the NBA Finals, hitting this clutch free over Paul Pierce. This is the defining moment in terms of achievement for Artest in his career. He was a great defender, very problematic when he was younger, but when he got older, he became a very, very good teammate. And he was a champion, a well-deserved one, no less. Number 2, 16th pick of all time, Artest. And at number 1, John Stockton, the only Hall of Famer ever selected out of the 16th pick. And my, what were the other 15 teams thinking? John played in the 80s and also into the early 2000s, late 90s. A lot of you probably remembered him for losing 2 finals to MJ. But man, Stockton was not only just a pass-first guard. He liked to pass, yes, but his assists and his steals go hand in hand. He is the NBA's all-time leader in both categories, actually. You guys remember him to Malone all the time in transition and in pick and roll. But Stockton also had the ability to score out of drives, out of shots, and he was extremely clutch. Like, his shorts were very short, he looked funky, his hair was insanely old school, but Stockton, don't get it twisted, he can play. Watch him cross up MJ right here. I remember seeing this for the first time and it blew my mind when I was a kid. Stockton is a fantastic point guard, tough as nails. And here, game winner, Western Conference Finals. Bang! Stockton, clutch, great leader, great teammate, and is selected at 16. That is insane. Alright, just mind-boggling. He's not even a lottery pick. But he is a Hall of Famer, he is an All-Star. Too bad about the championship, but you know, that's what Michael Jordan does. But yep, greatest 16th pick of all time, Mr. Stockton. So for those of you who watched this list, if you enjoyed it, add me a like, let me know in the comments section. I will be doing full lists from now on, not just keeping the top 3 for another later date. I'll still do that top 3 tournament I wanted to down the line, but here is the top 10 16 picks of all time. And yeah, overall they were pretty bad, but it got pretty good at the end. I mean, Artest and Stockton is pretty sweet. Everybody else is but you can't expect too much, right? The 16th pick is the 16th pick. So here it is. Let me know how you feel, and as always, thanks for coming by. And yeah, more NBA 2K16 tutorials coming soon, and I'll see all of you next time.